You know who it is, King of the Dot, Sketch Menace, Calgary, Alberta Division President, doing this promo vlog for Quarantine 2 right now. So I've battled under King of the Dot for about 6 years now. Been to many different leagues and all over the world or whatever, pushing rap battles and this and that. I've been running King of the Dot Division, Calgary, for the better part of that time as well, probably around 5-6 years now as well. The whole thing of Alberta Division, when it started, was Holohan had first kind of put it together with Overbite and myself as kind of in the background a little bit, helping out as or being one of the main battlers involved. And Holohan ran into whatever personal issues that he had, and from that point on, I took over the division, and from that point, it's kind of just been in the cards. In terms of how this card's different from past battles or past events that have happened in the world, I would say that we're not focused on this, this is our main cat that we're putting on all the time, and he's going to be the headliner and this and that, and then we're going to have this undercard of blah, 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 you know what I mean? And not to say that, the guys that are headlining events all over the world don't deserve to be in that spot. It's not so much the way that I see Calgary or the way that I'd like Calgary to kind of come up within this scene. I think that there's a lot of talent. I would like to equally put on that talent throughout the card. You'll notice in any of our promo, we're not trying to, put up cheddar cheese and big cannons faces on the flyer all over the place and then have, the subtext of all the other battlers at the bottom or anything that's involved. We want to make sure that it's a top to bottom, solid card. I miss battles like, Battle of the Bay and all the Cali events that first made me fall in love with this art form, where I could watch Kid Twist versus Fresco, and then Arsenal versus Conceited, and then Thesaurus versus Ilmac, some grudge match, and then Dirtbag Dan Jack shit, some mirror match thing, and I enjoyed that dynamic range of entertainment, and I'd like to bring that back to Calgary, and I feel like with this event we've really done that. We've covered all the bases. We've made sure that everybody's got a good battle, and that it's going to be a back-to-back solid card from beginning to end. We've always done events, mostly from a smaller scale, and we've definitely dabbled in larger scale events. Quarantine 1, the Frostbite series, several other events that we've done in the past. We've wanted to push those bigger limits, and with Quarantine 2, we kind of feel like the battle scene is right at that particular time where there's enough talent out there that we can push everything together and blend that in with our local talent as well. And we also feel that our local talent, the guys who have come up from Calgary or Alberta, or even just the West Coast in general, Vancouver, because we definitely want to meld more Vancouver and Calgary together. We feel like we're stronger as one entity as opposed to the separate divisions. So you'll be seeing a lot more events of this magnitude going on in partnership with Calgary and the Vancouver division. In terms of when you're putting together a card and you've got all these vets that are dope, and then you got these new guys and whatnot, everyone's always saying you should have put on this guy, or you should have put on that, or this or that happened, but people aren't aware of anything that happens behind the scenes, who's available, most of the time it's battlers that get in the way of the best matches happening. It's not so much the staff or anything like that. So when we're putting together cards like this, we definitely want to leave a couple of spots for those main event status. We want, guys like Cheddar Cheese, guys like Cheddar Cheese, and people have been looking forward to Cheddar Cheese battles for 5 years now since we're putting it out for King of the Dot. He battled, who was it, Kaz Mega at the first event? No, it was Poe Rich at the first event ever that he battled at. So we owe that to Cheddar Cheese. He's been putting on that for a long time, putting on for us. He's been out to Toronto, he's been out to Cali, and battled with me. Him and I have been on planes together and sat beside each other in hotels and whatnot. So we want to make sure that we're paying tribute to those guys, but at the same time, we got to make sure that all the newer cats that are coming up as well are going to be able to ride that steam, because those guys paved the way for any of these guys to be able to have a platform to battle on now, and they deserve that. DDSS Nameless, I'm personally excited for that the most. Nameless is, he's the homie, he's been a friend of mine for a long time, and I think that he's a very talented rapper. He's one of the most talented rappers in the truest sense of the word, I would say, involved in Canada and King of the Dot. I'm very excited to have him a part of the event, and from the get-go we were like, who do we give DDSS a match to? Because we want to make sure that he gets his sword sharp before the Ground Zero Grand Prix, before he has to do all these title defenses and whatnot. Who can we give him to that's gonna build his name and put him on that platform that he deserves? And we thought Nameless from the beginning. We flipped a couple of coins and we tried a couple of different ideas out, and I couldn't be happier that we got Nameless involved. It's a mirror match. Stylistically, it's great. I think it's going to be electrifying, and I'm happy that it gets to happen in an unbiased environment. Calgary deserves battles like this. We definitely want to bring that to them. Cheddar Cheese versus Big Cannon is a battle that I'm like particularly excited for now, and I knew it's one of those polar matchups, right? Like you're aware that it's either going to get a lot of love or a lot of hate as soon as you drop it, and it wasn't surprising. A lot of people were like, you know, what the hell are you doing? And a lot of people are like, wow, this is going to be amazing. In my opinion, you know, Cheddar Cheese is a hard guy to find battles for generally. People don't want to lose to him. If you do a battle against Cheddar Cheese, if you beat Cheddar Cheese, you're like, great, you beat Cheddar Cheese, you know what I mean? It's it. And if you lose to Cheddar Cheese, you lost to Cheddar Cheese. So again, it's a difficult scenario. I get it, man. As a battler, I'm one of the only people that are involved in setting up battles and organizing King of the Dot stuff, as well as being an active participant in it. So I'm aware of how, you know, all the nuances work when it comes to setting up battles. And Cheddar Cheese is a really hard person to find opponents for. Big Cannon was excited to come on to King of the Dot. He's been looking for an opponent for a long time. He was somebody that we had our eyes on even months before leading up to the event that we wanted to approach about battling. And I think when you really break it down, Cheddar Cheese and Big Cannon are stylistically very similar. I mean, he may be a Chicago guy, and then you may have little Cheddar Cheese from Calgary, and they look different, but they have very similar approaches to battle rap. Big Cannon's also one of those guys that, yeah, slept on, and he kind of holds that URL accolade and gives Cheddar Cheese that, opens that door for Cheddar Cheese. While it's someone that doesn't take themselves too seriously in that way as well. Cannon takes a comedic approach to a lot of his opponents. He takes a freestyle approach a lot of it as well and does a lot of rebuttals, while Cheddar Cheese does the same thing. I think it's going to be an electrifying battle, and I'm excited to, you know, to kind of squash the haters on it, because I think it'll make for a really entertaining match. Now, I'm really excited about the Ground Zero Grand Prix because of, you know, the Alberta division that's involved in it, and because of the entire project as a whole, but also because I was able to put the Ground Zero Grand Prix amongst the card with Quarantine, because I feel that there's a big gap within the battle scene of putting on the guys, the up-and-comers that should be, you know, opening up for these big stage battles and whatnot. And I'm very excited to be able to give those guys who have not so much been swept under the rug, but overlooked because of other events, which it's no one's fault really. It's just, you know, there's all these events that happen throughout the world, and people's interests are going to be shifted towards one particular area all the time. So it's exciting to be able to give the new guys, the guys that deserve those opportunities and those looks, to be able to put them on a card that they will get that attention that they need. The tournament's for like $2 grand, a title shot against, I'm not sure if it's going to be DDSS at that point, but against whoever the current title, the title holder is. It's Dirty Harry versus Resurrect and Edwards versus Philip Solo. Both battles that I know aren't going to blow the roof off on paper, in the sense of, you know, some average fan isn't going to look at that and go, wow, you know, I'm going to rush the stage for that one. But what it's going to be is it's going to open up people's eyes. It's going to say that, like, wow, we don't have to rely on Pat Stays and Sharones to have entertaining battles. We don't have to rely on Daylights and Antics, or, you know, these big celebrity guys coming back to do battles. We want to be able to put battle rap back in the hands of the battlers and say that, you know, and the Ground Zero Grand Prix is the perfect opportunity to do that. And again, like, so happy that I could meld those two worlds together, from the King of the Dot channel to the Ground Zero channel. This is also the first Ground Zero battles that will ever be released that are filmed and edited by Avocado. And I'm very excited to be able to give that to the Alberta scene, the Alberta battlers who have been putting on for me for a long time with the smaller events, like I mentioned earlier, and now I get to kind of give that back to them. King of the Dot Calgary presents Quarantine 2, happening March 28th at the Republic. You can pick up pre-sale tickets right now, $20 a piece at Lexington Ave Culture Shop, 617 11th Avenue, Southwest, Calgary, Alberta. We are doing a pay-per-view for this event. It's $15 leading up all until the day before. The day of the event, it'll be $20, so pick that up early, support King of the Dot. Go to KOTDTV.com and pick that up. Shout out to the man Avocado. We're doing this as a live pay-per-view, so it's going to be from 7 p.m. on. You're going to see the action as it happens. So again, KOTDTV.com, $15. We want to encourage the fans and from all over the place to be able to come out and enjoy this with us. From Vancouver, Edmonton, Calgary, anywhere from Toronto. I meet people at Blackout that are from Denmark that fly out all over the world to catch these events. I'm very excited to be able to put this on for you. King of the Dot, Calgary Division, Vancouver Division, Lexington Avenue, Battle Rap the Renaissance, all of the sponsors, anybody who's ever helped put this on for us in the past.